Okay, we are in Shmuel Aleph, Book of Samuel. Please subscribe to the channel, give hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss a class. Also, please give it a like and a comment. And we're still trying to hit 1,000. If we hit 1,000, I get paid for this. So let's do it. Okay, so it says, Vayakam David Anushav Kishesh Meot Ish, that David and his men got up, and again it's Vayakam, not Vayakumu, because Yakam it's a singular, as compared to Vayakumu. It should say Vayakumu, because David and his men got up. So grammatically it should say Vayakumu, but it says Vayakam. Why? Because David is the main character here, and the rest of the people are with him. So he got up, and the men with the men, and he had approximately. That's what Sheish Me Ish. Approximately 600. So it's not only 600. It could be less than 600. It could be more than 600. It's approximately 600. We don't have an exact count. Okay. V'yetzu Mikila, and they went out from the Kila. And there it's again. See, that's what I'm saying. It was said in the first one again grammatically. It should have, if you want to be consistent, it says Vayakum Vayetzu or Vayakam Vayetse. Okay? Yeah. But since it didn't, Vayakam, David, he got up and his men, around 600. Vayetzu, and now they're all equal. They're all on the run. Mikila, they all want to get out from Gila. V'yadahaluchu, and they, again, plural, they went, they went where they went. Shaul who God, and it was told to Shaul, Ki Nimlat David Mikila, that David had escaped from Keilah, V'yechtal, let's say, and he stopped, he ceased to go there, because he's only going he was only going because of David. He wanted to get him, but now he's not there. So it says, Rashi says, where it said, they went to where they went. So he says, Be'atar dekasher halcha, to a place that was kosher to go. In other words, in a place of where they're going to be saved.
How did they get out? I thought that Keilah was a
Keilah.
Yeah, I thought that was a gated city.
And
they were worried about entrapping themselves in a gated city.
So they get out. So they get out before they close the gate. So in other words, the only thing that they had to worry about was whether or not. Remember, the question was: are the people going to give me up, or what's he coming for? What's Saul's reason for coming? So all they know is that Saul's on the way. It was told that.
But that gate was never closed?
Well, it wasn't closed yet. Or if it was, they would say, let me out. Before. In other words, not everybody knows what's going on. Everybody is, he knows that something's happening, so he says, I'm out of here. Let's get out while the getting's good. And so, the Mesilas David says, it's going along with sort of what Rashi was saying, that he didn't go to a place that he considered going to originally, and so therefore nobody knew what the place was. They didn't know from the beginning to go to a known place. Okay, fine. So now Malbim, he looks at it and says, what happened here? When they went, excuse me, in the beginning, lo hityashvu b'shum makom. They didn't have in mind to settle in any particular place. What they would do is they would go back and forth. They would continually be on the road, in other words. And they would keep going back to the place that they went. In that manner, Shaul would not know how to chase them. Let's say, and that's why it says he stopped. What's the matter?
This is an art scroll book?
Yes.
I'm just occurring. They don't put the dash in the O. They spell God G-O-D.
Yes, because you're not going to throw the book away. They're hoping they're assuming you're not going to throw the book away.
And that's the distinction?
Yep. In other words, if I'm going to throw it away, what has God's name, UK Vavke or G-O-D, something like that. So therefore people, it has some, the G-O-D doesn't, but Yud He Vav He does. So in other words, the Hebrew does. It doesn't have the holiness. But for some reason people have done it, and I'm guilty of it myself. I was always taught to write G-D, but
whether
that's
it's thrown out or not, whether the piece.
Right. But it's if I didn't write God's name down, it's not God's name.
It just occurs to me.
Right. So that's why they're writing it down, because they don't expect you to throw the book away.
What about in an email or a text message? Is that thrown out or deleted?
Well, you would delete it, but it's never been written.
That's right.
It was never written, right?
So you can use G-O-D, it'll never be written. I mean, it'll never be
correct.
discarded.
You could, but again, people don't.
That's an old discussion.
I don't know what people do today. By the way, again, I do G-D or Hashem or something.
When you're writing.
Anytime I'm doing it, that's how I was taught. Yeah. But again, it's not. It's
the technology changes. So do you really discard it? You don't discard it.
I'm agreeing with you that in the internet you could write the full name. Right. There's not a question. Okay. So it says. So he says that's why he stopped fleeing, chasing him. Okay, so that's one thing. He kept going back and forth, so there was not be a specific place where Dov would be. He's a wandering vagabond, I guess. So fine. So now Shaul doesn't know where he's going, so he stops chasing. He stops chasing. That's the point.
How does Rashi get? You said you're saying
a kosher place.
Yeah, and here they say in a place where it is proper to go. So how do they get that?
What?
In a place where it is proper to go, and in a place where
kosher.
Right.
Kosher's proper.
How do they derive that from going?
Is that in the text or in the note?
That's in the note.
That's in my note here. In this, yeah.
He's quoting the Targum.
Yes,
he's quoting Mr. Arnstein.
Yeah.
He's quoting the Targum. Rashi's quoting the Targum. He's quoting the translation of the Aramaic translation. The Aramaic translation says "V'halichu ba'ata dekasha lahalcha," that he went to a place that it was kosher to go.
Targum actually says
proper. That's what he's quoting. That's why he says Targum.
Okay.
And if you look in your, where are you?
13,
so he doesn't say that. Okay.
Yeah.
J renders. J is the Targum. Yonatan.
Okay.
You have to always know what he's referring to. Okay. But that's what's going on. So he's translating. So Rashi's just merely translating, telling us what the Targum says.
Targum gets said.
Right. Say it again?
We don't know how Targum gets said from the Hebrew, from the actual wording.
Because it says, V'yidhalchu asher ba'asher yidhalachu.
Yeah.
So they went to where they went. Well, that's how they translate, right?
Yeah.
They went to where they went?
Here it says wherever they would go. It's even looser.
Okay, so he's saying, the Targum, that itself is a question. They went to wherever they went. Well, what does that mean? So the Targum tells us that they went where it was proper for them to go.
Okay.
So they would go, and so then the Malbim adds they kept going back and forth. So that way they didn't settle any place. The worst thing to do is settle. If you remember Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Remember Kung Fu?
Yeah. Really. What's his name?
David Carradine.
Yeah.
Okay. David Carradine had killed a priest, or killed somebody. I forget who he killed.
Yeah.
An officer of the Chinese guard. Good. So he comes to America, and it's a wanted poster wherever he goes of the whatever his name was, Kate Shane or something. I forget.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so he could never settle in a place because once he would become known, they would see his picture. And then the bounty hunters will come after him. So he's constantly on the run. If you remember that sort of a show. There's so many shows like that. Bill Bixby with Incredible Hulk. Okay? He's always on the road because if you stay in one place long enough, people are going to get to figure out who you are. And that's the situation.
Are you translating right at the beginning of 13?
That was 13, yes. So I'm saying, it says he went wherever they would go. They went, right.
It says it with no particular destination in mind.
Okay, there you go. So he's adding on those words.
But then he ends up hiding behind boulders.
Well, we didn't get there yet. You're jumping. You're jumping. Let the reader go with it. But but that's what's so that's where the Targum says what he says.
So apparently that because I'm assuming he's following a Masorah. That must have been a Masorah already. That he's putting it down in his own words.
Correct. And the Radak even goes further. By the way, on that he says, "Halchu b'derech mikra." He was going in a happenstance way, and whatever place he would settle. That's what it means, that a place that was proper to go.
And Targum is approximately from what date?
You're talking Roman times.
Ah, okay, way back by Chazal, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he's brought into the Gemara, so it's not. So the Gemara knew about him too. Okay. V'yeshev David b'midbar m'Sadot. So now David is staying in the desert. In Sadot should be a guarded place. Okay. V'yeshev Bahar b'midbar Ziph. And he was staying in the mountain, in the desert, the wilderness of the Ziph wilderness, wherever that is. Vayivaksheu Shaul kol hayamim. Shaul was seeking him, looking for him in all the days. V'lenatano Elokim biyado, but Hashem did not give him into his hand. He never gave him over. So Malbim says, "Vayeshev David hityashev makom." He was settled in one place. Ulam haya mitach balatav shebachar shnei makomot l'shavto. Perhaps this was one of the instances because he chose these two places to live. Vayeshev midbar mitzudot, vayeshev ahara midbar zif. And that's why it says he remained or lived in the wilderness of this with the fortresses, and he also lived in the wilderness, the Ziph wilderness. So it means sometimes he lived in the fortress, sometimes he lived in the Ziph wilderness in the mountain. And because of this, Shaul was also searching for him. And with all this, Hashem never gave him into the power. Because every time he came to one place, David Nimsa Sham, he wasn't found there. He's okay, so he had basically two places to live. I have the wilderness, the Ziph wilderness, and the mountain. And then I have this place, Mitzadot, which again is a fortified place. What is he calling it? Is he calling it fortified, or is he saying it's...
in the strongholds?
Strongholds, thank you.
Are you in 13 still?
That was 14.
This says tall boulders and mountains. I don't know.
Oh. Interesting.
What, in 14?
Well, it's the note I'm reading is from 13.
This is in the strongholds, and he dwelt in the mountain, in the desert.
Okay, so strongholds is, what's he calling the strongholds?
I don't know, tall boulders if we're at the same place.
Okay. Well, that's, I'm not,
so
could be.
right.
I never would have thought
fortified,
about it. Fortified.
Basically.
So fortified place. Oh, so he's going to Radak. He says tall boulders that were in the desert. Yeah, okay, so you have those two places. So he would be the... by the way, why would he pick those? One's fortified, so you can't get in. The other one, you're in the mountain, so you can see where he is. You have the advantage. But nonetheless, the point is he's going back and forth. It used to be, before we had the expansion of the Torah Center, this room in the winter was freezing.
It's not so warm now.
No, this is air conditioning.
I had the floorboard heating.
We had this room. It was so cold. How cold was it? There you go. It was so cold that we could leave our refrigerated stuff in here in the winter, and it would not. You could have left everything, and it would be cold. It would have been colder than the refrigerator.
Did they ever find any people in the same condition?
No. So what used to happen was, we used to just shut this room off, except for Shabbos. We used to shut this room off, let the heating put on really low, and I would call, and we would go into the dining room. That used to be my winter residence.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The front room.
Right, the winter residence. That was a winter residence.
It's the floorboard heating that didn't
Right,
work so
and
good.
then for the summer we'd come back here because the air conditioning was nice, but it's
So I'm trying to. It had ductwork for air conditioning, but it was the floorboard. I guess electric floorboard heating. Something.
I don't know. It was cold.
Yeah.
It was cold. For this was the add-on. This one was the add-on.
Way back.
Yeah,
The
the original,
original
right.
room back to this level was
No. This was an add-on.
right to the original house.
Yeah, from that room. That is
Is there a basement under here?
no, there's nothing under. This is a
Crawl
slab. Slab.
It's crawl space. All it is.
Yeah, this is a slab, yeah, whatever you want to call that. But it's, but like I said, so that was the same thing. You never knew where I was going to be. In the winter, I was here. In the summer, I was here. So here, the same thing. In whatever time he was, he had two homes, as it were. So you never knew where he was going to be.
Well, but there's not just one of him. There's 601 of him.
But it doesn't matter. They're moving. They're moving. So that's why Shaul could never figure out where they were. Are they in this residence or that residence? And apparently they're not next to each other. It's going to take time to get there. So why his spy network didn't catch up with what was going on, I don't know. But that's always a question. So Vayar David. So David saw Kiyatza Shaul Vakeshet Nafsho that Shaul was going out to seek his soul. For David bin Bar Ziv Bechorsha. And David was in the Ziph wilderness in the forest. Okay, he's in the forest now. And so what happens is Malbim explains, V'yar David ad ata, until now, Nimlat David b'ashgachat Hashem shelo matzu Shaul. That until now, David was saved because Hashem did not allow Shaul to find him. V'David lo yada ki Shaul holech acharav, and David did not know that Shaul was coming after him. V'yata ra'a David Shaul yatz levaksho, and now David saw that Shaul wanted to find him. But David haya be'edahi, and David was at that time in the wilderness, in the Ziph wilderness in the forest. Uvavadai haya da'at David ledat mechrash le'mekom acher, and so certainly it was David's intent to go from the forest to another place. Aval mipnei siba shenizkar b'samuch, but because of the reason that's going to be mentioned, that namely that Yonatan comes to him, nishar sham, he remained there. So normally he would have, when he saw that his father-in-law Shaul was coming to get him, he normally would have done a better part of valor and escape, right? Leave the area. But because, as we'll find out, Yonatan is going to come to him, so he's going to stick around for a little while longer. Okay. My father always told me that the best way to win a fight is to run away. Nobody gets hurt. That's what he told me, because he was brought up He was during the war. He was in China, so he was went from Germany to China, and so he said he learned from the street. He was, you grew up the hard way in those days, so he learned in the street that you don't have to fight every fight. He said what happens is the best thing is when you see the people are coming at you, you get out of their way. You just run. He said if you can't escape, then find a wall. And he gave me all the instructions to how to try to escape unscathed. But that's again the street fighter's mentality. Here, so David would normally have done the same thing. He would have tried to escape, since he was, I don't know how many people he was with at this point, because he's in the forest. Maybe he's by himself, maybe he's not. But he's sticking around because of Yonatan. So let's go on. And it says, Vayakam Yonatan ben Shaul. So Yonatan, the son of Shaul, got up. Vayelech el David chorsha, and he went to David in the forest. Vaychazek be'elokim, and he strengthened his hand in Hashem. So what does that mean? It says, Rashi explains, Chidesh Berit B'neihem. He renewed the covenant between them, between the both of them. Okay. So Rashi, Malbim explains, Vayakem Yonatan. So Yisapir Asiba. So now the Torah, the Tanakh is telling us the reason why David didn't leave from the forest. Yonatan ba elav, because Yonatan was coming to him. Vayichazek et yado be'arba'a inyonim. He's going to strengthen his hand in 4 matters. 1, be'elokim. 1 is in God. He says, "Barach lemo amalei shelo yirab ki elokim imo." He should not fear Shaul, because God is with him. And with God's divine guidance, or Hashgach is guidance or supervision, he saved him from the hand of his enemies. And so now that's why he's coming to tell him. That's number 1 he's doing. Now we go on. And the next verse, it says, Vayomer Elav. And he says to him, Jonathan says to David, Al tira, do not be afraid. Ki lo timsa'acha yad Shaul avi. Because the hand of my father Shaul has not found you. By the way, when it means hand, it also means power. Okay? The reach of my father's hand has not found you. That's what we're looking at. Okay? And that's a simple way to understand that. And he says, why did it not find you? So the Malbim says, number 2, he doesn't know where you are.
They're even. He doesn't know where he's going.
Right. And number 3, and you will rule over Israel. And so Malbim says, and with this tarum karen b'zchut harabim, your horn will be lifted up in the merit of the many. Ki zarach shemesh hislachtecha, because the sun is shining on your success. Ubedavi yetachtecha, and my father's house will be under you. In other words, you are going to they say your star is in ascension. That's why they usually put it. Okay, so that's the same thing. Your horn is going to be raised. I don't know which came first, your star is in ascension or your horn will be raised. But because the star in ascension is, I'm going through the Malbim. You're not going to find it there.
No, I'm looking at my notes.
Okay. So it'll be interesting because, like I said, the star in the ascension is saying that it's all mikra, all happenstance. It's just the way the constellations are running. As opposed to your horn be raised, God's doing it. So that would be interesting to know which one came first.
Does he appoint him to the government once he becomes king?
Shaul will die. Jonathan's going to be dead. That's a spoiler alert, but...
He'll never appoint him viceroy with
No, he dies. He dies with his dad.
He dies what?
He dies with his father. In the same war as his father.
Oh.
He dies. He's gone. But that's a spoiler alert. I'm sorry for all those people who are watching.
Well, you didn't write it.
I'm just saying it's a spoiler alert for the people who are watching. We're nowhere near it. But, okay. And then he says, "V'anochi hayeh lecha lemishneh," and I will be to you second in command, as it were. And that's number 3, right? And then he says, "Gam Shaul avi Yodea Cain," and also my father Shaul knows this. And he says that's the 4th one. And he says mitzad zeh, and because he knows this, nirpu yadav, his hands have become weakened, his powers become weakened. Vayivchad me'asot lecha kol me'uma, and he is afraid to do anything to you. In other words, his power, because he knows all this is going to happen, he's afraid to do anything. So he says that's how he's strengthening David. He's giving those 4 reasons. Okay. So let's continue. So they both made a covenant, or renewed the covenant before Hashem. He says, Ki abrit arishon, the first covenant, hayabeno leben atzmo, was done between the 2 of them. And this covenant was made before the Kohen and the Orm Vadum, the breastplate, and because of these promises, Yehonatan Uvrito Dvarav Shechazakoto Al Yedei Cain, because of the promises and of Yonasan, and his covenant and his words to strengthen him. So what happens? Vayeshev, next part of the verse, Vayeshev David Bechorsha, David remained in the forest. Yonatan halach live beito, and so and Yonatan went back to his house. So what does it mean? That David lives in the forest. Ratzlemot Nishar Yoshev Sham. He remained there. V'lo yetze misham, and he didn't leave from there. K'mo shahaya machshavato, like he originally was going to do. Uve'emet Cain haya Shaul lo yadam mikomo, and in truth, Shaul did not know his place. Rakazifim hodiu, but the Ziphim, because remember he's in the Ziph wilderness in the forest. The Ziphim will inform Shaul at Makom David, of the place of David K'moshe Yisapir, like it was going to be told. Okay, so we know from Yonatan that the father is getting discouraged as well, because he can't figure out where David is. So therefore his power is being weakened. He also knows that David is going to be the king. So things just aren't working out for Shaul the way Shaul would have wanted. And so now what's going to happen is the Ziphim think, by the way, the Ziphim aren't really happy with David either, because they don't want him. What do they want him for?
Jeopardizes their...
Right. No, jeopardizes... He's not jeopardizing. I'd rather be on the power side. I rather, the expression is don't cross the boss. The boss is the king. So the king is, if I can help the king out, maybe he'll show me favor later on. So that's what is going to happen here. Yud Tet. V'yalu Zifim El Shaul. So the Zifim, the people of Ziph, go up to Shaul. Higba Talemot, to where he was living. And he says, so what's going on there? Ki Shaul chazal beito Giva, because Shaul had returned to his house in Giva, and he stopped looking for him. So they said, Hello David, Misatiri Manu, B'misadot. And they said, surely David is hiding amongst us, or with us, in the fortified cities, V'chorsha, in the forest, B'givaat ha'chalicha, in this the hills of Chalicha. Hills? I think it's hills, right? It says hills of Chalicha?
It just says one hill.
Oh,
Halicha Hill.
Yeah.
Halicha Hill.
Yeah, it's like a subdivision.
Okay. Shemimin Yeshimon, which is to the right of Yeshimon, which is to the right of another name place, Yeshimon. I'm not sure how everybody's translating these things, but...
This says south of.
Where?
South of Yeshimon.
South of Yeshimon. Okay, good. Oh yeah, I was thinking, right, okay, good.
Doesn't matter.
Well, to them it would.
Well, it's the suburbs.
Okay, right. So it says, but Mesudot, so why they say the fortress, Hodiyu Mikomo Al Kol Misarav, they informed him of this place from all the people, from all the attackers. That's why I call it Mesudot. Mesudot again is your rocks or your cliffs, these rocks. The Chorsha is the forest, like we said. Give a Chachila is Bashir Haya Bechila. Give Ab Insad Small. So there was another hill on the left, so that if the right is south, this was to the north. Shemimin, which was to the south of Yeshima. Okay. So now what happens is Viata. And now the Chol Avat Nafshachal Melcha read. So for all that the king's desire to want to go down. And we will give him, we'll lock him in to the king, we'll make sure that the king gets him. Literally, he will be locked to, from us he will be locked or closed in to the hand of the king. That's what it means. His giru is, I close you in.
Apprehend or something.
Right. We're going to get him. So it'll be on us to get him for you. We'll do it. Okay. Rashi, so that would be Rashi. Rashi said, we'll close him in. That's interesting. The Malbim goes to 22, to 23. He skips everything here.
Why?
So in the Malbim, he doesn't go for everything. He decided he'd have to speak about 3 verses. Okay. So now, Vayomer Shaul. Shaul says, Baruch hamatem l'Hashem. You're blessed to Hashem. You guys are good. Ki chamaltim alai. You have compassion on me. Baruch Hashem. Somebody cares about me. That's what you're saying to them. You guys, you're my enemies, but now you love me. It warms the cock to my heart, really.
Best news he's had since he threw the first spear.
What?
This is the best news Saul has had since he threw the first spear.
Right, okay. So he says, you love me, and I'm so happy. Great. Let's go. So then, here we finally go to 22. L'chuna. So let us go. Now again. Or go now. Go now. It's not please go. Go now. Hachinu od. Prepare still. U'du and know. U'ru and see. At Mekomo, his place, Shetiyev Raglon, that will be you will be at his feet. Mi ra'ahu sham, who will you see there? Who will see him there? Ki amar elai arom yarim hu, that he will say to me, arom, that they use trickery. They used trickery to get me because he didn't know the place. Is that how they're saying they used trickery?
Which one do you want exactly?
That was 22. That's how they're saying it? 22?
No, it says he was ready to send a large force to capture David, but did not want to go on a wild goose chase.
No, 22. Wait, 22.
Yeah.
It says, go now, prepare yet, and know and see his place where his foot will be. Who saw him there? For one told me that he deals cunningly. That's what they want to know. Okay. Cunningly. Okay. So now what happens is, I'm not sure which verse you're on, it's on 22. So the Chuna, he says, Bashir, here it is. Bashir Yadash, David, when he knew that David was hiding, was doing all this treachery, as it were, and making sure that he wouldn't know, concealing his place. He was concealing his place. He said, so he commanded that they prepare themselves so they don't go for nothing. And know with a clear knowing. And see with your eyes et mekomo ha'emet, his true place. Because his place would be far from you. And he's again, it's conspiring or hiding, or he's cunning, in that he considers that when he's living there close to you, so that I will go to him, but he's going to go another place. Notice he's going to set me up. So we have to be sure about this. And Yisua Shemekoma Idchem, and he describes the place with you. And so he's going to distance himself like he did many times before. L'chein ru'u et asher tiyeh raglo sham. See where his feet will be, which means sha'anashav yoshvim idchem, the men who are living with him, who ba'atzmo nechbav makom acher. He's going to be staying from a different place from where his men are. No, who saw him there? Him by himself. Do not rely upon people telling you that they will be men from his covenant. In other words, maybe he's conspiring with people. Rather only know who saw him there. At who Ish Naaman, to know if he's a trustworthy guy. Ube'ir hatam, and the reason he explains is in order, why does he have to know all of these things? Ki amar elai arum ya'arimhu, because I know he's conniving. Maragel ach asher shalachti ilidrosh acharab, the person that is the spy that I sent to investigate after him. Amalesh ma'arim bekama aramot. The guy is sent to check him out, to search for me, the advance guard. He told me that this guy is very cunning and he can find ways to corrupt the truth. So really, that's what he's telling the people. He's saying, you guys are telling me that that he's there. Well, I need real proof. I want basically, I want some valid proof that he's there. I have to say, eyewitness testimony. You saw him alone, together, whatever he has, like you said, 600 people, around 600 people. I need to know where he is, because if I'm going to go and then he's not going to be there, so I'm wasting my time. I don't want to waste my time. Let's get this done. Okay, and let's go a little further. I'm never going to get to where I want to. Okay. So, I said that. No, I didn't. Okay. So, Chav Gimel, 23. Oru'u udu'u. Again, and see and know. Mikol moch ba'im sheyit chabei sham. From all the people who are hiding there. V'shavtem elai, and return to me. El nachon. V'halachti yitchem, and I will go with you. And if he would be in the land, and I searched after him, behold, and I searched after, I'll search after him in all of the thousands of Yehuda. So in the place of Yehuda, so he says, Malbim says, number 4, chutz mizeh, besides all this, chidrushu, investigate, al kol hamichbaim amongst all those who are hiding there, shem lo kain. If not for this, with all this, even if I did know his place, he could still hide amongst them in a hidden place. And so then he returned to me with this correct information, which means you know it clearly. I will go with you. This is without any comparison. You should call it drishot, that you're going to investigate with all these different types of investigation that we said above. And that way he won't be lax from searching out and going after him. Ki im rak yeshnu ba'arts. As long as he's in the land, I will search him out. He will search him out with all his power. Okay, and we'll have to stop. I'm sorry. Okay, so when we come back, in Yis Hashem, it should be on chapter 23, verse 24.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.